Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. Thor has been around for ages as one of Marvel's earliest heroes, released in August of 1962. In this time, there have been a lot of alternative versions, both in alternate universes and our own. So hey, let's talk about some of my favorites. Here are the top 10 alternative versions of Thor. Number 10. Cyclops Thor. This isn't an amalgamation between Cyclops and Thor. This is a version of Thor with one big eye in the middle of his head. Yeah. He comes from Earth 1610, a reality inhabited by Cyclopses. I don't know the plural of Cyclops. He and a number of heroes were transported to Earth 616 through a rift in the space-time continuum and caused a bunch of problems. Honestly, this Thor isn't that great. He isn't particularly cool, not particularly different from OG Thor apart from the eye thing, and his storyline isn't particularly good. But just look at him. Like, look at him. He looks so silly. I mean they all do, but he looks like a thumb with legs. So he's number 10. Number 9. President Thor. This version of Thor from Earth 20604 was elected President of the United States somehow. They freak out saying Obama's from Kenya and then they elect a being from another dimension? Classic America. In one of his first acts as president, Thor said that everyone who wanted them could gain superpowers by taking special Skrull pills. And this doesn't go so well, and Thor is later killed when the Skrulls invade using the pills he gave out like candy to help exterminate humanity. So hey, if you're down about Trump, things could be worse. Number 8. THORR. In the ever popular Spider-Ham series, Thor was found as a canine version of himself called THORR, the God of Thunder. I really like this name. It's a double whammy, you know? THORR sounds like a growl, and dog is God backwards. Just swell. You know, he hails from Arfgard, and surprisingly actually looks pretty cool. Especially when you compare him to some of the wackier looking characters, Thor got pretty lucky in terms of aesthetics. Number 7. Zombie Thor. In Marvel Zombies, Thor was among the horde of heroes that was zombified. And while he makes a brief appearance, it was pretty memorable. We saw the freaky zombie god fighting with a homemade version of Mjolnir made of a concrete block on a pipe, which breaks when he attacks Silver Surfer. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't one of the lucky zombies to bite into the Surfer, so he didn't get the power cosmic and was promptly killed. The last we saw of the poor guy was his body being burned and his skeleton being tossed away by Giant Man. Number 6. THORR. No, not Thor, not Thur. THORR. This was the evil Thor of Earth 14325, who was transported to our Earth by AIM just before the destruction of his reality by an incursion. He's much more of a dictator than our Thor, killing people who he thinks aren't worshipping him enough, fighting alongside Iron Tyrant, the evil Jarvis Iron Man, as well as other members of the Avengers. He's a powerful and dangerous Thor, not restricted by things like morals and being nice. It's pretty cool seeing Thor taking a more tyrannical role, even if I wouldn't want a whole series about this character. Number 5. Thor 1602. That's right, it's everyone's favorite series, 1602. Such an alternate version goldmine. In this reality, Thor was an alter ego in a Christian priest named Donald. And this is a reference to his first secret identity, Donald Blake. Donald is afraid of his godly alter ego and is worried that sharing his existence with a Norse god will make him look bad in the eyes of his god. As a fun / not fun fact, rather than speaking in this Shakespearean English comic Thor normally used, this version spoke in an Anglo-Saxon alliterative verse. Neat. Number 4. Little Thor. This was just cuteness overload. In this world, the members of the Avengers are all child versions of themselves, and seriously, I can't express just how cute they are. There are other groups of kids as well, like the X-Men and Guardians of the Galaxy, all of whom are #adorbs. The groups compete with each other in various wholesome ways, like selling food in food trucks and playing dodgeball. I'm not gonna lie, Thor's Asgardian ribs look absolutely delicious. Number 3. Jane Foster Thor. After Thor became unworthy, we needed a new one. And who better to take over the role than the person who had been at his side through thick and thin, Jane Foster. After picking up Thor's hammer on the moon, Jane was transformed into Thor, gaining his powers and some pretty wicked muscles. Jane represents Midgard, Earth, in Asgardia, and has been involved in countless battles fighting for Asgard and the Avengers. Jane has been a pretty awesome Thor, aided by her experience watching how the original fought and the powerful abilities given to her by Mjolnir. Number 2. King Thor. This Thor of Earth 14412 has seen some He led the campaign against the forces of Gorr the God Butcher, and with the help of his past selves was able to defeat Gorr. After being wounded in battle, he landed on the now barren Earth. When his blood touched the ground, new plant life began on Earth, and with the help of his granddaughters, he began trying to rebuild and cultivate the new world. As he neared death, his granddaughters weaved a spell of life and created a number of hybrids from the old animals of Earth. Inspired by this, King Thor created the first man and woman, fittingly named Steve and, of course, Jane. It was so sick to see Thor actually being a creator god, and the new Earth is, I must admit, pretty awesome. Except the flying sharks sound terrifying. Number 1. Haircut Thor. This is without a doubt the most epic and interesting version of Thor to date. Oh man, hold on to your hats because this is big. You ready? I don't think you're ready. You ready? Okay, here we go. In a single panel of a What If comic, Thor got a haircut, and his helmet didn't fit. That was intense. Hopefully you all have access to a new pair of pants because that was insane. He can't even see properly. How does he do heroics? Your guess is as good as mine. What a mystery. That's it for today. Hopefully you learned something or enjoyed the video, or maybe even both. If you did, please smack that like button and subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more nerdy vids. Let me know in the comments if you'd like a part 2, and tell me which of these Thors you think would win in a fight. Until next time, I'm Ron McKenzie with Top 10 Nerd. Later, nerds.